Today, we are painting this crucified yeoman from the Martyrs of the Mud Kickstarter by Print Legend Studio. And I am showing you the whole painting process from the underpainting to the effects paints. My videos tend to focus on just skin or armor painting. I always skip the detail painting, much more the finishing touches. But since this is my last video of the year, I will show you the whole painting process of the painting of this crucified yeoman. Painting is a process, but I am more engaged with any painting project when I try new things occasionally. Painting with different methods or tools within a project is the most fun. In this video, I will demonstrate various painting methods incorporated into a single model. So, join me as we paint this crucified yeoman from the Martyrs of the Mud Kickstarter. Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to my channel. This channel is supported by all these awesome brands. Also, special thanks to The Army Painter for making this video possible. By the way, don't forget my discount codes and affiliate links down below. It won't cost you extra and it will help the channel. Also, you'll get some big discounts. We start our painting with a brown zenithal underpainting of sorts. We use boot brown from the Army Painter historical sets. We are also using my new Aventus airbrush from Gallery. I installed the 0.4 needle for my Aventus for easier thinning of the Warpaints fanatics. The air pressure is at around 20 psi. I do not recommend Warpaints fanatics for people new to airbrushing. The thinning will be tricky. I would recommend Warpaints Air or any airbrush formulated acrylic paints for airbrush beginners. After painting with boot brown mostly from the sides and at the top, we then paint with a lighter, more saturated brown. Now, we paint with camo brown. Camo brown is also from the historical sets. To give our painting a zenithal effect, we paint camo brown mostly from the top. The Aventus airbrush is performing well here, but I am rusty with the airbrush. Too much slop chop and sponge painting for me, the whole year. Once you are happy with your brown underpainting, we proceed to painting the uniform of this yeoman. Now we paint the base color of the uniform. We are using the Feldgrau triad from the historical sets. This is easier to paint with the brush, but I am practicing my airbrushing with my Aventus, so I airbrushed the uniform base color. The setting of my airbrush is the same throughout the painting of this model. As you can see in the video, I am being very careful with pressing the trigger of the airbrush. I need a bit of practice for airbrush precision painting. A bigger mini should help me get more comfortable. Now we switch to brush painting. I am using my Foxbite Arrowhead Kolinsky brush, a true Kolinsky brush that won't break your bank. I have been using the particular brush in the video for many months now, and look at the flex and point of the brush. The triad from the historical sets is well designed as usual. But I needed a darker shade of color than the dark Feldgrau, so we used the darkness from the John Blanche set for a darker shade of the uniform. I thinned the darkness more than usual and stippled it on the uniform to build more textures. After stippling dark Feldgrau and the darkness on the uniform, and also some quick recess painting, we now paint the highlights of the uniform with light Feldgrau. I hope it is obvious in the video that I am thinning my paints a bit more than usual for layering. This makes my Warpaints fanatics more translucent, allowing me to create more gradual transition. I am using glaze medium with my paints. But of course, you can use water. Once happy with the uniform painting, we move on to painting the rest of this yeoman. If you are finding value in this video, do give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Whenever I paint any mini, I tend to focus on the part or feature of the model that I perceive as the focal point of the sculpt. In this case, I tried to paint the uniform well, and everything else is just quick painting. After the painting of the uniform, the only parts that I painted as well as I could are the leather parts and the gas mask. Our focus here is to paint the base colors of the leather and the gray parts over the brown underpainting. We are still using our Arrowhead size 0 brush. I am happy with the painting of this Yeoman. We just need to push the highlights and add more contrast. Now I need to switch to a detail brush. Now we highlight almost everything. I painted with pre-highlight colors first and finished off the highlighting with ivory from the John Blanche paint set. Brain Matter Beige is also a good final highlight color. Do not be afraid to overdo the highlights since it is very easy to tone down with washes and glazes later. Fine highlights are easier to achieve with great quality Kolinsky brushes in my opinion. Once you are happy with your highlights, we can now tone some areas with washes. If you have seen my recent painting videos, I like applying washes and speed paints with the Sakura water brush pen. They are awesome, and I highly recommend them. Washes are the easiest way to add depth and contrast to your painting. I also like to use washes around the edges of my highlights to give them a tapered look. Just do not use acrylic washes all over the miniature. Try to paint them precisely on areas that you want to be darker. After applying some quick washes with the brush pen, we finish off the painting of this Yeoman with some effects paint. Effects paints will kill your precious Kolinsky brushes, so we switch to the Army Painter synthetic brush. Effects paint is a great way to spice up your painting. I particularly love the blood effects. We are using these new bionic brushes from Tap to apply the blood effects. The new bionic brushes are better than the old versions. I like the flex of these new brushes, and they are perfect for almost any painting method. I must say that I still prefer my Foxbite Hobbies Kolinsky brushes for precise highlights though. When adding effects to your painting, less is more in most cases. But apply as much as you want. It is your painting after all. To finish off this mini, we quickly apply some mud with the new Battleline chipping sponge from the Army Painter. You could use the usual dishwashing sponge, but I do find this chipping sponge easier to use and clean. The stippling seems to look more spaced and random than the regular sponge. I was too lazy to find the proper brown colors for the mud, so I simply used the Rust Effects paints. You may want to thin down the Rust Effects paints if you do not want to create physical texture on your mini. Now, before my final thoughts, a huge thanks to all my patrons at Patreon. As mentioned in the intro, this is my most complete painting video this year. I tend not to show the painting of the quick washes and effects paints. Also, in this video, I showed you all the tools and brushes that I like to use with each method. We use the Foxbite holder, the Foxbite Kolinsky brushes, my new Aventus Airbrush by Galeri, the new Bionic brushes from the Army Painter, the new sponge chipping brushes, and the Sakura brush pens. I must remind you that I have discount codes and affiliate links for all of these tools if you like. Well, except the awesome Sakura brush pen. Anyway, the best way to get better at painting minis is to know your paints, get comfortable with using your tools, and have a good knowledge of different painting methods. You do not need expensive and high-quality paints and tools, but good quality tools and paints make the hobby more fun and less frustrating for beginners. Lastly, do check out the Martyrs of the Mud by Print Legend Studio at Kickstarter. I will put the link of the Kickstarter campaign in the description below. That's it, Pansit. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe and all that stuff. Until next video, guys. Bye! If you like this video, you might want to check out these other videos.